All right, welcome back to season 7 of our show, and today we were throwing down with some fried catfish, red beans and rice, and fried bananas. Let's get it done. All right, so what I'm working with today is 6 pounds of catfish. I got red beans here. That's for our red beans and rice. We got some beautiful ham hocks. Those are homemade, cured by me. We're gonna leave a link in the description. And we got bananas. These are green, unripe bananas. And we're gonna show you how to fry these up. First things first, let's get this catfish seasoned up. So we're gonna bring in a basket. We got some beautiful fillets here. There's no bones in here. And we're just gonna get these into the basket. Now we're using a mustard binder today. And I love mustard binders on catfish because you don't have to add the salt. And afterwards, I always like to add my hot sauce to this. So I'm just gonna put this here first. Mustard. This is Dijon mustard and a little yellow mustard, just regular plain Jane yellow mustard. I took what was in the fridge and I mixed these two together. So this is how it comes out. I added just a little bit of vinegar to this. Very easy on that. And here's some seasoning: onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, touch of sage, and a little cumin powder. So we're just gonna get this mixed up, just like that. And like I say, that mustard is gonna bring in lots of salt, so you won't need it. Let's get some more of that seasoning on there. You can hit this pretty hard with the seasoning. There's no salt inside the rub either. These are all homemade rubs. Takes you 2 seconds to make a rub. So take a bunch of different seasonings that you have, mix them together, make sure they're salt-free, and surprise yourself because you'll come up with a great recipe. And just keep it in your cabinet. Every time that you go to make something, just pull it out and use it. And if you keep the salt on the side, you'll be better off. So we're just gonna move these over onto the bench and get these guys in. You see how fast this goes? And look at the consistency of the mustard. This is why I mixed it down, diluted it with just a little vinegar. You could use water if you want, but the vinegar works much better. And you can see the consistency of this. Use whatever mustard you like. Dijon, you could use a powdered mustard, mix it with water. That works just as good. But just as long as you use the mustard as a binder, you'll be fine. And there it is. How fast did that go? That took no time. And again, here's our seasoning. So just separate them out. And that's 6 pounds of fish. Just like that. And there it is. Now we're gonna save some of the seasoning, or a lot of it, for our flour mixture. And when we clean up and meet you right back here, we'll get to cooking the rest of this up and show you the rest of this meal. But we're gonna keep this in the fridge. I like to go overnight with this. You can do this minimum of 2 hours, but if you go overnight, you're gonna assure great tasting fried fish. All right, I'm gonna clean up, get this loaded up, and we're gonna meet you right back here, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, we got that fish marinated, but it's much too early to fry it. We're moving on to some red beans and rice. Let's get it done. So what I like to use in my red beans and rice, I like to use the ham hock. To me, this offers a lot of flavor. It offers a lot of meat too, because I do eat this, and these are cured and smoked by me. We'll leave a link in the description, like we said, of how I did that. So we need to make a stock for the red beans. Into the pressure cooker we go. Now what I'm doing is I'm making this overnight. So what I'll do is I'll put them in the pressure cooker. I'll let them pressure cook down for about an hour. I let them chill out. And then I put them in the refrigerator and let them cool out overnight. This way, that's one thing that I don't have to do. Now these beans, I cook these down. I have a set in the refrigerator that are waiting to be cooked tomorrow. And what I'll do is I'll just pre-boil them, cook them down, put them in the fridge, and now I have guests coming the next day, and I could just put this meal together very quickly. So this meal comes together in no time. If you try to do this the same day, you could. You're gonna be working the whole day. So why not make life easy for yourself? Make your stock the night before, marinate your fish the night before, and then the next day, you're home free. All you gotta do is just cook it. All right, so we got that in there. We're going in with a couple of bay leaves, red chili flakes, just a tad, maybe a little bit more. That's gonna flavor that broth. We're going in with just H2O because we are making a stock. And I'm gonna go about there with it because I want a lot of stock. And these ham hocks release a lot of flavor, so lock this on, 1 hour, high pressure, and that's it. We're gonna meet you back here tomorrow, pull these out, let them cool down. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, our ham hocks are out of the pressure cooker, and now it's time to finish off these beans. Let's show you how to get it done. So these are our beans. These are boiled down. Now what I've been doing is I've been chopping some of this bell pepper and these onions, and I've been adding them to the beans, just like this. So they're not cooked down all the way. They're still on the al dente side. They're still a little bit firm. So what we want to do is we're going to have to cook them down a little bit more. So I'm going to stop about there. It's about enough bell pepper. I'm going to give these a stir. Now I drained a lot of the liquid that was in here. Why? Because we want to put some stock in here. This is that beautiful stock that we made from our ham hocks. So here's our ham hocks. I'm going to put just one in for now, and I'm going to get some broth in here. See how pretty that broth is? Now you could use this broth for a lot of things. You can cool it down, freeze it, pull it out of the freezer. You can put this in ice cubes, fill up some ice trays, and you got a beautiful stock that'll last you a very long time. So just put the amount that you want. Now we don't want these beans swimming in it. We want them to cook down a little bit more. We also want this ham hock to cook down and get a little bit more soft. So just like that, and just like that, those beans come together. This is what we used on the fish. We're going to add that in here. Garlic powder, onion powder, paprika. So we'll get a little bit of that in there and just feel it out. I'm going to go with some more broth, and then I'm going to drop the rest of my ham hocks in here. Now these are going to do two things. They're made to flavor the pot, and they're also very good eating. So I'm just going to get them all in, and they're completely intact. If they fall apart in here, it's perfectly fine. And that's it. So I'm going to stir this around, move them around a little bit. I'm going to go for probably another ladle. I'm going to let these run for about another 45 minutes. And that time, we're going to make a beautiful tartar sauce, and we'll meet you back here to show you that. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, every great fish fry deserves an amazing tartar sauce. Let's show you how to get it done. So this is one of the simplest tartar sauces that I've learned how to make years ago. As a little kid, I learned how to make this tartar sauce, and to this day, I still make it. So the first thing you want to do is to determine how much tartar sauce you need. So this is a couple of spoonfuls of mayonnaise. I'm using Duke's today, so we start with that. I got some celery and onion. I'm just going to put the celery and onion in here. Make the amount yours. I'm going to use a decent amount, as I already ratioed it out. It's just by eyeball. I don't measure anything. If I made this tomorrow, I might go with 2 tablespoons, and my ratios would change again, so feel it out. We're using sweet relish. Again, right out of the jar, I'm going to feel it out. Now, I like my tartar sauce on the sweet side, so I like to put that relish in. Little mustard. We're going to go in with just a little plain Jane mustard. A little bit of in there. A little black pepper. Again, feel it out. And we got a little bit of horseradish. I'm going to give it a good douse of the horseradish because I like horseradish. That's it. We're going to just mix this up, and then we're going to taste as we go along. Now you could add sugar in here if you like yours a little bit on the sweet side. But I feel with the sweet relish, you don't need it. If you're gonna use like a dill pickle relish, then you might want that sugar in here because it's not a sweet pickle. Just like that, the sauce comes together. And you really can't complain with the ease and quickness of a sauce like that, right? And just get it mixed up well. That mustard goes a long way bringing in that authentic color. And that's it. Now we're gonna just give this a try, see if it needs anything. More sweet relish. And get that mixed in. And I could use a tad more horseradish, but what I'll do is I'll refresh it at the table. Let it sit in for an hour or two and just see how it tastes. I'm definitely gonna want the black pepper because I like the black pepper in there. And just go from there. And that's it. Very simple and easy to do. We're gonna try this one more time with the back of the spoon. To me, that's spot on. All right, we're gonna meet you back here and fry some fish. Don't go anywhere. Take a look at these beans. See how that ham hock is starting to just break apart? They are done. I'm gonna let these sit on the table while we make some rice and fry our fish. We got also fried bananas on the way too. We're gonna show you that one too. We're just gonna give this a taste to see if we need any salt. Maybe just a touch. That's it. We're gonna put the lid on these. I'll stir them when we get to the table later on. And let's go fry. All right, so our beans are done and now it's time to fry. Let's show you how to get set up. All right, so right here I have 75% all-purpose flour and 25% semolina. Here's that rub again. We're gonna add it to the mixture. We're gonna get it all in. A good amount. Now we didn't put any black pepper in this at all, so here's our black pepper. We're going in with a good amount. You wanna season that flour. It's just gonna give you that extra edge on there that you want. So we're just gonna mix it in. Once you get it mixed in, we're gonna put the lid on it, use something with a lid, and give it a shake. Gonna shake it up pretty good. I'll usually shake this up for about 3 minutes, and we can get back to that in a second. All right, we're frying. And what are we frying in? Lard, that's right. This is what it looks like. This is non-hydrogenated. And I buy this local from a local butcher. We're gonna get the lard in here. The whole brick, that's right. You know how heavy that is? Now I'm not sure how much I need, but I'm gonna start with 2. And as this melts and I get up to my level, I can start to empty some of this out. So what I'll do is I'll empty this out if it gets too much, but since I'm used to frying in bricks like this, I know I need 2. So 2 in there, and they're gonna come up about to that level in there. See that? And I know when they melt down, this is where I wanna be. So lard, that's what you need, non-hydrogenated. We're gonna heat this up and we're gonna come back and show you a wonderful rice. Don't go anywhere. All right, where our oil's heating up and that lard is melting down, let's show you some rice. You know, a dish like this, most people would just put plain rice in it. Sometimes you have to push just a little bit more and expand the flavors. So today we're using a basmati rice, cumin seed. I got onion, so this is gonna be onion, cumin rice. We chop our onion. Just get them in pieces like this. You don't have to go too nuts on it. And that's it. We're gonna just drop these in the rice. They'll cook down, they'll flavor the rice. And I'm always expanding the flavors of my rices because I love rice. And sometimes rice is good plain, but this one is going to take things just a bit over the top. All right, here's some cumin seed. Very simple flavors in this rice. I'm going to go with a whole lot of the cumin seed. Now those aren't hard or bitter. You won't even know they're in there by the feel of the tooth. A couple of tablespoons of salt. And a little olive oil. Good douse of that. And enough just to cover the rice. Just like that. We're going to cook this on high. Now I don't usually go by ratios. I go by the rice and the amount of water covering it. And always go a little bit under than over, because if you go over, it'll come out a little mushy on you. If you go under, you have a chance to save it by adding more water. And that's it. All right, onto the stove we go. All right, so our rice came from a high boil. Now it's on low. And just as you start to see the rice and the water gets that low, you're going to put this on low simmer and put the lid on. And now it's time to fry some fish. So we got our fish here. We're going to get some of that fish into the flour. A couple of pieces at a time. We're frying at 375. Pretty close to 380. Right around there. We started off at 380. But it's going to go down to 375 because we just turned down the cooker. Now I'm going to pat this in because I want to get a good amount of this mixture on here. I'm going to shake off and go right into our hot oil. I'm not just going to drop it in. But we're going to release nice and easy. There it is. I'm going to put about 4 of these in at a time. I'm not going to crowd my pot. I'm going to let them go. We'll meet you back here when we're pulling them out. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, time to get out some of this catfish. And look at that. Now looking right? Now some of these I'm going to fry hard. Means I'm going to fry a long time. When you say fried hard, it means you're going to fry them a long time, as a lot of people know. But for you guys that don't know, frying fish hard means that you're frying it exactly what it sounds like, harder. You're frying it longer. And by making it fry longer, you're frying it harder. So it's not so soft. I like them both ways. I like it fried hard and I like them fried soft. But look at the coating on there. I mean, that's a homemade coating. It's nothing you're going to buy out of a box. So take your time and you get this gorgeous, beautiful catfish. All right, we're going to fry some more of this and we're going to get right back to you, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, we got a last batch of fish ready to come out that fryer. Last stop on this train, fried green southern bananas. Let's show you how to get them done. All right, this dish is exactly what it sounds like. Green, unripe bananas. So you're just gonna peel them, take them out of their skin. I peeled these, took them out of their skin. So just like this, you're just gonna cut the end off. I'm gonna give it a little head start here, just like that. And then I'm just gonna peel it right down and pop it right out of the skin. Now that you got it peeled, I'm gonna cut them the fancy way. Just go down on them like that. Very simple. Just like a plantain. When I was a little kid, my grandma made these for me. I never had them before, and I was so excited to get them. And they're just a beautiful thing to have. And you can have these with pretty much anything. So if you ever run into these bananas in the supermarket and they're green and you don't know what to do with them, or they're too green, or you don't have enough sunlight, fry them up. You'll be so glad you did. All right, we're gonna meet you onto the stove to fry these up. We're frying them up in avocado oil. And we'll get her done for you. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, so we're frying down these bananas. And this is what you want to do. Just let them kind of do their thing and don't disturb them too much. Just put them in. And just don't touch them until they release by themselves. And once they release, you can just turn them over like this. It's a very gentle banana. So just take your time with them. And just turn them over just like that. Believe it or not, a fork works better when you're doing this than a spatula. So there you have them. All right, we're gonna meet you onto the chopping block. Pull that other batch of fish out, and we'll meet you to eat. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, our bananas are frying up, and we're just getting out the last batch of this fish. If you want, you can hit them with a little bit of salt after they come out the fryer here. If they're not salty enough for you, but we're using hot sauce. So we're not going to put any salt on. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, and here we are on the chopping block of season 7, deep fried catfish, ham hocks and rice, and a beautiful southern green banana. Let's show you what we got. Take a look at that beautiful catfish. That's looking real right. Take a look at those ham hocks. They're looking good. Nice ham hocks and beans. And that rice with the cumin. That's gonna pack a lot of punch. And those southern green fried bananas. That little sweetness on the side that makes up for the bread. And we got a little tartar sauce to go on here. Let's get into it. Let's get this off to the side. And we're serving up country style. That will be our plate. Let's get some rice in here. So that rice is not too sticky, but yet it's a little sticky. And we got that cumin in there, and that cumin seed is just going to give this tremendous amount of flavor. So you guys have to try this one. All right, let's get a little ham hock over this beautiful rice. Get some of those beans in here. Got to do this, right? And just let those beans soak into the rice. A little bit more. Okay. And let's get some of this fish onto the plate. I think I'm going to call for 1 piece for now. And then we're going to throw a little bit of those fried green bananas on the side here. And nice and crispy. And there it is. And the topper on this one, a little hot sauce. And we're going to park that right on top of the beans. Just like that. And we saved that tartar sauce for our fish. I'm just going to put a little bit right there. Let's try that fish. That batter on the catfish is extremely light. The catfish is very flaky and fresh. I mean, this was just swimming yesterday. That light batter gives that coating on the fish. You taste those little crunchies, and you have to put the semolina in the flour. It makes all the difference in the world. Excellent dish. All right, let's try those beans and rice. Get some ham hock in here. Wow, this meal just puts etiquette right in the back seat of the car. This is a hearty, down home, just don't mess around, get into this meal and get down. That's the type of meal it is. Outstanding dish. The beans, perfectly cooked. The ham hock, extremely meaty, juicy. You can taste the cumin and the rice, the onions. It is the perfect combination. If you guys never put cumin inside your rice, you have to give this a try. I think you'd be highly impressed. Delicious. Let's try those green fried bananas. You know, it's funny. The fried green banana is such a lost recipe. I mean, I haven't seen this recipe in years. I've been the only one that makes it, and people come over to my house and they're shocked that you can fry green bananas. And I show people this all the time and they say they never had it. But when I was a kid, that's all my grandmother did was just fry these, and these went beautifully with everything. Very different from a plantain. It's sweeter, lighter, outstanding. All right, we're gonna get organized and meet you guys right back here, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, and there it is. Some beautifully deep fried catfish. And we fried those the old-fashioned way, using lard, non-hydrogenated. That would be the good stuff. We also threw down with some beans on the side with ham hocks. Because ham hocks and beans go beautifully with catfish. I hope you guys try this dish. And we cannot forget about that rice. The cumin seeds, they're a must-have. You gotta try those in your next rice dish. And those fried green bananas. A staple I grew up on, which a lot of people don't know about. Now you do. Like always, we thank you for coming. We loved having you. And with no further ado, gotta get that last good master ham hock there.